I am officially going to Wondercon. Whether this video is going to be released before or after that, I don't really know. But Wondercon is in about 2 weeks, and I have a lot to fix up on this guy. These are dangerous. I'm not good at making YouTube videos, obviously. When did I record that? 3 weeks ago or something? I don't know. I was so excited to record all the things that I was gonna fix on Heartbreaker, and then I got to fixing it and the rage ensued. Just for reference, this is what the wiring looked like before. I know. I spent probably like 48 hours just sitting on the ground right there. Not in that chair, on the ground. Let's just say it ended up becoming a lot more work than we thought it was going to be. So I just got busy doing the work and didn't film it. So most of it ended up being fixing wiring and organizing stuff like that. I was very helpful about, you know, the few stuff, right? Okay, we didn't get to it, but we got to just about everything else. Why do I taste this in the back of my throat? Is it a smell? Is it a... I sprayed it that way too, what? Anyway, but in hindsight, I don't know if that would have been entertaining to see me sit on the ground for 10 hours. So I'm just gonna tell you what I did and show you the result, because me and my friends took our Iron Man suits over to California to Anaheim for WonderCon. But I did want to show you what I did and then show you some of the shenanigans we got ourselves into over at WonderCon. All right, so this was the new helmet. At a first glance, it looks the same. Number one, the paint job came out much better on this one. Spent a lot more time sanding it down. I also treated the gold differently to get it more metal-like. So I actually painted it gold, clear coated it, and then put another coat of gold on top. And that way you get the like metallic look, because the clear coat kind of dulls it a little bit. This was modeled by my buddy Walsh 3D, by the way, go hit him up. Instead of a weird back part that kind of flaps out, we had this back panel slide out. It has holes for magnets, but honestly it stayed good enough with friction. And on the inside, yes, I do still need to paint the hinges because they're this bright green, but it was the only PLA plus that I had and I wanted it to be strong. But my buddy Walsh also modeled this. Inner details on the faceplate, and my cable management goes all the way down into this plug. So much better than it was before. Very comfortable to wear. Didn't get tired of wearing it out of the long time I wore it at the convention, and I'll talk about that more. But yeah, this entire faceplate was resin printed. These vents and everything on the inside here were resin printed as well. I had a lot of resin printed pieces on this. Walsh modeled all the hinges perfectly. Heartbreaker is a hard helmet to motorize just because it's like short and stubby, but he did a great job, and it plugs into the rest of my suit with this little guy here, runs down the back, and it is 10 times better than the one I had before. And you might be wondering, Emily, why haven't you shown us the suit yet? Why isn't it up on its stand and everything? Well, I'm gonna show you why. She's beauty, she's grace, she's still stuck in suitcases. These suitcases, by the way, are the hardest thing to pack ever. All right, so I'm not gonna pull all of it out just because I'm going somewhere with it in like a week, and packing it all the way back up would just be a pain, so don't hate me, not gonna do that. But I did want to show you what we changed, with the biggest thing being the back and the electronics, okay? This is what it looked like before, and this is what it looks like now. It still kind of looks chaotic, but I can at least explain it now. So this is what controls everything. This is an Arduino Nano, put on a board made from Crashworks. If you guys don't know Crashworks, there's some good buddies of mine that decided, you know what? Anyone should be able to motorize Iron Man helmets and stuff like that, even if they don't have prior knowledge of programming. And they basically put together a super cheap and simple board. This is one of their older boards. Since then, they've come out with ones like third of the size. But they're a great option for people who want to learn how to motorize a helmet or something like that. I'll put their link down in the description below. These are the servos that pop the shoulder missiles up and down. They just kind of pop back down with gravity. Right now it's laying down, so they just... And back here where the duct tape is held, I still haven't really replaced the duct tape with just like glue or anything, but there's some NeoPixels with lights that kind of make the back vents light up. Now the helmet, those flaps and the lights in the back are all controlled with this glove right here. You can see little buttons on the fingers. One thing we had changed, there used to be reed switches in each of these fingers and a magnet in the thumb. So when I touched them together, they would activate. However, they were kind of finicky and they'd only work like a third of the time. So I just went ahead, even though it looks kind of ugly, I switched it out for physical buttons because I know it's going to work every time I press it. So that cable goes up to my helmet, that goes to one glove, this goes to another glove, this goes around into the front of my chest, into the arc reactor light, and these guys down here, these plug into USB power banks that are housed in the thighs. They run down the ab piece and into this power bank. One powers the board and the helmet, and the other powers the rest of the suit. So yes, it looks kind of hectic, but it's nowhere near as bad as it was. These wire covers were definitely a must. Additionally, something that you wouldn't really think about is some of these USB power banks that you use will actually turn themselves off after a period of time if they're not constantly drawing power. So Crashworks, the same people, also came up with this nifty little board called the Penelope board that will constantly make sure power is drawn from the USB power bank bank so it doesn't shut off. Because that was one problem with my previous suit. I didn't have Penelope boards on both of my USB power banks, and my helmet would just turn off, and I'd have to actually get my husband to come over, walk to me, turn it back on so that I could open my helmet just for the whole suit to turn back off again. So now that we got all that mess out of the way, so this is gonna be a relaxed video. You know, sit back, grab your nerd gummy clusters because these are addicting. I'm gonna show you guys some clips. If you like them, cool. If you don't, please put up with me. I'm gonna describe some of our shenanigans, okay? Someone needs to take this away from me. So, we all got to WonderCon. Me, Danny, or CTK Creations, Frankly Built, Kiera's Workshop. I wanted to make sure everything got there in one piece. And so I had Danny hold the camera while I opened it and inspected it to make sure TSA did not ransack my belongings.
Hey, we finished the half the suit in a day before the last convention. We can do it again if we need to.
On the other side.
Ooh.
Okay. Suitcase number 1, looking good.
Oh, that looks like it was very tightly packed.
I guess I didn't search it though. Yeah. I think we're Gucci. Let's go! They didn't search my crap! Now you might be asking yourself, why would TSA not search an Iron Man suit? I don't know, but I'm not gonna ask questions because I appreciate them not doing it. So everything was fine, we had no casualties, and basically what we did for the rest of the night was try each other's Iron Man suits on, because that's what real friends do. Strong.
Am I doing this right? I'm not getting it. I can't get it through my forehead.
Hello. Welcome to...
Hello.
That's my line.
No, it's
ma'am.
my line. I am Emily the engineer.
I am... Shoulders are falling off. I don't need them because I'm already buff as is.
Quick, now floss.
Anyway, the next day we got to put on our suits and head to the convention. Me and Frankly Built wore our suits both on Friday. Got to waddle around, ran into some R2s, Baby Yodas. Me and Frank took some pictures in front of a really dope Hulkbuster. But that was just the calm before the storm, okay? Saturday was pretty hectic. We finally got our suits on. Every single one of us set records for how long we had been in our Iron Man suits. Me and Kiera were in ours for maybe 5 hours, a little bit over. You gotta keep in mind it takes time to put these things on and time to take them off. Danny and Frank ended up being in theirs for about 6.5. And by the way, Danny's is literally a fiberglass statue that he turned into a costume. Don't know how he walks in it. Don't know how he lived, but he did. And I'm a proud friend. We saw so many people and got to chat with so many cool people too. If you came up and said hi, hello, that made our day. Also what made our day, this one guy, he had printed a faceplate and asked us to sign it, and we're like awkwardly fumbling around with our fingers trying to sign this faceplate. This other guy, I think Matt Makes is his username, printed us all keychains. What? It was a day full of shenanigans. They got all the Marvel cosplayers together to take a group picture. They let us go up through the elevator because, like, you know, stairs. It was a funny experience because we all hopped in the elevator together. You could feel it go up to the second floor where we were supposed to go, and the doors just did not open. And there we were, about 5 to 6 Iron Men, crammed in an elevator, thinking we were trapped. Finally, one of the peeps that was with us started mashing buttons, and the doors eventually opened up. But let's just say it gave us a good scare. We got some pretty dope pictures there. Went around the corner towards the balcony because we saw some empty space and we're like, ooh, picture time. And at that point in time, one of the coolest moments in history occurred. Here we were, maybe about 2.5 hours in to just wearing these. We were exhausted, but out of the corner of our eye, we saw 5 people in Halo armor. They were exhausted, we were exhausted, but we made eye contact and said, yep, it's worth it. And I'm just gonna show you this. It was so cool. Anyway, they were super awesome people. I'll be linking everybody's information in the description below, so if you want to check out certain people, they should be down there. Okay, now at this point, we really were exhausted. My shoulders felt like I had worn a 50-pound backpack for 3 hours straight, but there was one thing that saved us, and it was the fact that Danny had decided that morning to strap a wireless Bluetooth speaker into his suit in order to blast music from it. And I have to tell you, if anything gives you energy when you think you are completely out of it, it's Just Dance by Lady Gaga. And you can tell the exact moment Danny started blasting music because we slowly start to come alive again. And somehow after that, we stayed in the suit for another 2 hours. magic. We had a boatload of fun, just derping around and hanging out with people, having dance-offs as well. And then, to top it all off, our buddy Ben Farron came to take pictures of us, and holy cow, look at it. He did an insane job, got some awesome shots of us. And of course, why not end the day with a nice little mobility test, okay? I tried jogging down the hotel hallway, and I have to say, the only thing that broke was my little boot flap. That was it. The shoulder just kind of flipped over. You just had to kind of flip it back. I was very happy with how I was able to move. Super happy to be able to open and close the helmet correctly. Also, huge thank you to Dylan and his wife. Dylan, by the way, was the 5th Iron Man, and his wife was a huge help. Huge shout out to my husband for tolerating me. Just kidding. He was a huge help, as well as Captain Brit on Instagram, or our friend Brittany. Like I said before, she was the glue that held us together mentally and physically. And then finally Sunday, that was our comfy day. We let our shoulders relax. We were still in pain. Got to walk around, got to chat with people. It was wild because I think just as many people recognized us without the suits on as I did with the suits on. And that was a weird feeling. But thank you to everyone who said hi. That was super cool. And yeah, that was our WonderCon experience kinda summed up. Now allow me to bless your eyes with some of the footage that our buddy Ben got, because it's good. Anyway, that was our WonderCon experience. It was great. It was awesome. Also, if you saw my shirt, you probably didn't see it because, you know, my hair covers up everything. But if you guys own 3D printers and you are a proud 3D printer parent, you can head over to, I think it's like emilytheengineer.shop or something. It is emilytheengineer.shop. This was actually an inside joke between me and my friends because, you know, I don't need kids right now. I have my printers. They make enough noise and mess as is. We got one for dads as well. So if you are interested, link to that will be down in the description or emilytheengineer.shop. So thank you so much for watching. And by the way, one more thing, the most important part of this video, drum roll please. This video is sponsored by NordVPN. That's right, the company that sponsors PewDiePie told me to tell you what they've got to offer. However, I'm not PewDiePie. I gotta step up my game first. Perfect that PewDiePie can't do that. On the real though, if you're constantly surfing the web with zero protection right now, first of all, cringe, but NordVPN is a must. It's the fastest VPN out there and will protect you from anything trying to track you or your information online. And now with its new feature, threat protection that has anti-malware capabilities, it's an even more powerful tool to keep you and your information safe. And it's actually ridiculously simple to use. I could figure it out. And this part is awesome. If there's, say, ever been a game you wanted that's not available in your country, you can simply change your virtual location. And you've got 60 countries to choose from. Bam! Doesn't get better than that. So if you're interested in protecting your experience online right now, you can get an exclusive deal using the link in the description. I gotta say, I personally enjoy using NordVPN, and I feel a lot safer using it as well, so I'd highly recommend it. So again, be sure to head over to nordvpn.com/EmilyTheEngineer to get a huge discount, 3D printed piece not included. I'd highly recommend it, 100% worth it. And thank you, NordVPN, for sponsoring this video. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this now. Perfect.